again, maybe it's just impossible to run as a Republican this year, and do what you need to do to keep your dignity and win.
Well, you're right, because the primary up here is today, and the big court primary is in March, perhaps March 4th. And so, as he begins to face the jury in America, he's facing a law and order reality, and he will probably face a real chance of being convicted. But that's ahead of us right now. But one thing is, I think, unclear, and that is that Trump last night in a big crowd up in Laconia said they shouldn't let Democrats vote in a Republican primary. Well, you can't be a Democrat and vote in a Republican primary up here. You're only undeclared voters, undeclared to either party, are allowed to vote up here in the Republican primary or Democratic primary. So Trump is not appealing to those people, but Nikki Haley could have been making her point to those people, the undeclared. She could have been talking about the things that Mika's been talking about, the reality, the facts of the case against Donald Trump. And she could have been talking about those things, but she has not done that. I'm sorry. Part of connecting with the reality of the American voter is the lies that Trump has told us about winning the election in 2020, about bringing the people up to stop the steal that led to everything that happened horribly on January 6th. He did all that personally. Personally, you have to talk about the person of the man you're running against to beat him. You can't say chaos follows him. You got to give a human term to who he is, and he's the bad guy here. In this case, he's not eternally the bad guy, but in the case of 2024 politics, he's the bad guy. He stole the election or tried to steal it, and you got to talk about what he did to the American people. And those 200 people who have pled guilty to felonies for assaulting police officers in the Capitol building of the United States, assault. They've committed those crimes. They admitted to those crimes. They have been convicted of those crimes, some of them facing 18 to 20 years. And Trump is still trying to walk away from all this with immunity. How can you make him your hero? Bring that up. She's got to bring that up to win.
Right.